The gaming monitor market is vast, with models ranging from under £200 right through to £1,500, and that's just the mainstream, with niche models easily pushing past £3,000. Now, it's relatively easy to spot the differences between a cheap monitor and a high-end one. So in this video, we aren't going to cover off the basics, and we'll assume that you at least know a little bit about panel type, response time, and the various standards like HDR and adaptive sync technologies. If you don't though, don't worry. You can check out our Monitors Buyer's Guide video where we cover all of that off in detail, and we'll add a link for that in the description for you. Okay, so in this video instead, we're going to see just how much difference there is between a high-end gaming monitor costing £700 and a super high-end one costing twice the price. Is it any better? Does it justify the extra cost? Well, we're going to find out. And to help with this, MSI have kindly sent us some of their monitors to try out. MSI shouldn't need any introduction. They're one of the biggest gaming brands out there, offering products across nearly all of the gaming PC categories on the Scan website, and they have an excellent reputation for offering great value products for gamers and enthusiasts. Today we have 3 monitors to look at. We've got 2 models that are both £700 and offer different options at the same price point. That's the Optix MPG321QRF-QD, which is a traditional 16:9 monitor, whilst the Artemis 343CQR is a 21:9 ultra-wide curved option. And then for our top model, we have the MSI MEG381CQR+. This is also a curved ultra-wide model, but it costs double the price of the other 2. So let's take a quick look at the specs of each to compare them, and then we're going to do some testing to see just how much better the MEG381 is and whether it justifies that price point. First up, let's start with our 2 £700 monitors to see how they differ. Generally, having a curved ultra-wide panel would be more expensive to manufacture, so we should see some compromises versus the traditional flat 16:9 screen, but you gain the additional width and screen space. The 321QRF-QD is a 32-inch 16:9 rapid IPS panel with 2560x1440 resolution, offering up to 175Hz refresh rate and a typical brightness of 400 nits, with up to 600 nits peak in HDR and a stated 1000:1 contrast ratio. There's support for AMD FreeSync and it's NVIDIA G-Sync compatible too. There are 2 HDMI 2.0B ports, 1 DisplayPort 1.4A and a USB Type-C. You've also got a USB hub with 3 Type-A connections, 1 mic in, 1 headphone out and an audio combo jack. In terms of what makes this a high-end gaming monitor, it's all about that screen. Obviously, being IPS means it offers excellent colour reproduction. This also offers the quantum dot layer made famous in high-end TVs, which really helps to bring those colours to life. It also offers 1440p resolution and 175Hz refresh rate, which at the moment means you are right in the sweet spot of clarity and smoothness for gaming and esports. And the adaptive sync tech gets rid of tearing and stuttering for maximum accuracy. As this monitor is targeted at esports, there are also some features built in to really let you get the most from your game. Optix Scope offers a built-in aim magnifier, making any weapon a sniper rifle. Night Vision uses AI tech to make the world's first smart black tuner, and Smart Brightness adjusts the brightness of the screen to the ambient light conditions, so you can play in any environment without having to manually change your settings. Moving on to our alternative £700 gaming monitor, the Artemis 343CQR is a 34-inch 21:9 curved VA panel with 3440x1440 resolution. It offers up to 165Hz refresh rate and a typical brightness of 400 nits with a peak HDR of 550 nits and a stated contrast ratio of 3000:1. AMD FreeSync Premium is supported, but there isn't official support for NVIDIA's G-Sync compatible certification. Again, there's 2 HDMI 2.0 ports, 1 DisplayPort 1.4 and a USB Type-C, along with a 2-port USB hub and mic in and headphone jack. The standout features for this monitor are the ultra-wide aspect ratio, offering a wider field of view, along with that 1000R curve, which is said to be the perfect amount to match the human eye. This means that the edges of the screen are the same distance to your eye as the centre, leading to higher immersion and less eye fatigue. There's also the Optix Scope and Night Vision features that I mentioned earlier, as well as a nifty feature to allow you to display your mobile phone at the side of the screen in picture by picture and still maintain a traditional 16:9 game display. As I mentioned before, getting the curved ultra-wide panel does mean there are a few compromises versus the 321QRF-QD. First up is that VA panel rather than IPS with quantum dots. This means that this screen shouldn't quite have the pop that the other model does. It also drops down to HDR 400 certification rather than 600, but it's worth noting that the curved panel actually has a peak of 550 nits, so only just falls shy of the 600 certification. And in reality, there shouldn't be a huge difference between the two. It does also have a slightly lower refresh rate at 165 versus 175 Hz, but that's so close that we don't think anybody would be able to tell a difference. And our final monitor today is this one. It's the MEG381CQR Plus. It's the top of the stack for MSI and the only monitor that features the MEG branding, signifying technologies that transcend current gaming products. Basically, it should offer the best of everything, with the only compromise being the price. The 381CQR Plus is a 37.5-inch 21:9 rapid IPS panel with a 3840 by 1600 resolution. It's got 175 Hz refresh rate and a typical brightness of 400 nits, with a peak HDR of 600 nits and a stated contrast ratio of 1000 to 1. It's a G-Sync Ultimate monitor, which means that it features a physical chip inside that controls the frame sync with the GPU right down to a single hertz. It's the best adaptive sync tech on the market and offers a solid step up from the G-Sync compatible and AMD FreeSync premium options on the other two monitors. For connections, it's got two HDMI 2.0 ports, a 1x DisplayPort 1.4, 3 USB ports, a mic in, headphone out, and one mic in upstream. There's also a built-in HD webcam placed in the middle just below the screen along with a microphone, which is great for someone working from home or wanting a basic all-in-one streaming setup. But you also get a mountable camera cradle should you want to add a professional setup. And that's not all. The MEG381 also features an HMI operation interface at the bottom left, which has its own screen and a dial that allows you to change and see information without affecting the on-screen action. There's built-in RGB lighting on the front which can react to compatible games to add an extra layer of immersion through the integrated SteelSeries game sense, so a lot of features as you would expect. The main features here are the fact that we get that huge 38-inch ultra-wide curved display which goes back to the desired IPS technology. That, teamed with the resolution at 3840 by 1600, offers a further step up from 1440p. But a compromise against a full 4K display when you can't then use the high refresh rates. Top that off with G-Sync Ultimate and the RGB lighting for immersion, this should offer the very best gaming experience. It's also a great option if you also work from home and only want one high quality setup. The width of display and resolution allows two windows side by side comfortably, especially with the 1600 vertical pixels and the webcam and mic to keep your space tidy with less wires. So that covers these three monitors on paper. What about the real world? Does that extra features on the 1300 MEG381 make it worth the step up? Well, let's find out. To help you decide which of these monitors would best match your PC, we recommend looking at your GPU to help guide your choice. These are our recommended GPUs to get the absolute most out of each, although of course they would work with less powerful GPUs too. For the MEG381CQR+, we recommend the RTX 4090, the RTX 4080 and the RTX 3090 Ti, or the Radeon RX 6950 XT. For the Artemis 343CQR, we recommend the RTX 4080 down to the RTX 3080, or the Radeon RX 6950 XT down to the RX 6750 XT. And for the Optix MPG321QRF-QD, we recommend the RTX 4080 down to the RTX 3070, or the Radeon RX 6850 XT down to the RX 6700 XT. And if you need any more information about choosing your monitor, we'll be doing a new monitor buyer's guide very soon to cover this in more detail, so watch out for that and make sure you're subscribed. So in conclusion, is the £1,300 MEG381CQR Plus worth the step up from the already high-end Artemis 343CQR and the Optix 321QRF-QD? As with any high tech, the answer is yes and no. With any new technology, you'll also pay significantly more for the latest and greatest. The MEG381 definitely offers the best overall gaming experience and will continue to do so for many years to come. If that's what you want, the best of everything, and you have the means to buy it, then you won't be disappointed here. And if you can afford £1,300 plus for just a gaming GPU, and I suppose dropping another £1,300 to get a monitor that can get the best from it for years to come doesn't seem like a bad investment. If, however, the £1,300 seems a step too far, then either of our other two models offer a fantastic gaming experience, a significant step up than the cheaper options that should be more than good enough for most. So the decision really falls to the buyer. You can buy all of the models that we tested today from our website, which we'll link in the description, but we'd love to know which of these three would you choose and why. Tell us in the comments.